Hey, hey, my friends, this is your old Mr. Presley back again. We're going to look at a couple of ideas today about translating. So, the first one in your assignment today is called Translation of a Point. And let me use the mouse a little bit. Okay, so it asks us about image points. And let's first talk about what a translation is before I get into that. Get this guy out of the way. Okay, so translation is we're going to be talking about ways to change pictures, ways to change images. So I'm going to just find myself a little picture here. Let's get Happy Charlie Brown. Okay, so here's Mr. Charlie Brown. Now on the screen, we have like a little JPEG image here. And every time I move it, the computer is actually, it doesn't see it as a, I don't know why I have this mask on. It's not seeing it as a picture, it's seeing many, many dots of color, pixels. And so every dot has a coordinate, like how far across the screen is, how far down the screen it is. So like that little dot for his eye, okay, it's over this far and it's down that far. Well, when I go to move him around the screen, like if I move him just a little to the right, okay, he's still as far down as he normally was, but he's further to the right. So his little dot for his eye has moved. And if we think about a coordinate axis system, let me see if I can just pull one out here. It's been a while. There's coordinate axis. Okay. And then let's bring him to the front. Okay. So there's Charlie Brown. And another thing I might do, if it'll allow me, I got to remember how, is to make him transparent somewhat so that you can see through him. Okay, there. All right. So if we take a look and let's say we put his right eye at 2, 3. Let me write that down. All right, so his original eye point is 2, 3. And let's just say we call that point E for eyeball. That's his eye. All right, and then we're going to, we want him to shift. And let's see what this thing was talking about on our problem. Image point of -2, -3 after a translation, right 2 and up 3. That's real important right there. To go right 3 and up 4. Okay, right 3 and up 4. So I'm going to move him for just a minute and put a little dot where his eye originally was, and let's call that E. I'm going to put him back. There he is. Now he's got a big eye. All right, and we're supposed to move him, I have a bad memory, right 2 and up 4. So let's say right 2, right 2, and up 4. Now you won't be drawing these every time you got to do a problem. We're just wanting to see some patterns that we can use. So if I'm going to pick him up and move him, I've got to move him right 2. So I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2 spaces. See how it moved over now. And we're going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's my new position, right? All right, we're happy. So let's see, maybe I don't know if I can draw something there or not, but let's get that first. Let's first get his new coordinate. Now, when you change an pre-image, we call it, into an image, use this little prime. It's like an apostrophe. And so E apostrophe, the new point is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's his X coordinate. And then his Y coordinate is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the question is there a way of doing it without a drawing? Is there a way of getting his new point? Now, let me go ahead while I'm at it. Let's remember where he's at. Put a little dot there so that you can see not just his picture, but his what we're thinking about. So 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and I'll put him back. Okay. Oh well, let's fix that. Let's call that E prime. That's the new point. Okay. So here he was, the E, and then we slid him to the right, and we slid him up. And there's his new point. Now, every other dot on Charlie Brown would also move. So like the point of his ear would move up somewhere up in there. Or the bottom of this hand would move somewhere over in here. So as he slides, every little point's moving, but we're just looking at one little point. Now let's get him out of the way and let's talk about, now how did I get from one place to the other? Well, what happened to the 2? The 2, and let me use the color here, we added 2 to it to get 4. So this 2 up here, right 2, means to add to the x 2. And then if we take the 4, well, how did that 4 get in there? Well, look at this. 3 plus 4 would give me 7. Okay, so that's also an adding. It turns out we can make some generalizations about this. Now, our 4, 7 is our answer. So we can type that in. Let's go ahead and, I don't know about you, but it bugs me when there's something left undone. So we'll go put 4, 7 and submit. Oh, what did it not like? Oh, you know what? Oh, boy, just see what I did. I didn't even do the problem. We'll do that problem again in a minute. Okay, we'll do another problem. But let's finish talking about this. Okay, so what really happened, if you move right, you got to add to your x value. And if you move up, you got to add to your y value. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to come over here and make a generalization and say, I'm going to try to handwrite to start with. It's been a while. I'll try to write neatly. Okay, so if we move to the right, we add. If we move to the left, we subtract. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just type that up. Okay, and then that way we'll have it going. And make it a little bit smaller. So, right, add to x. Left, subtract from x. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that so that you'll know it. We didn't actually subtract anything, but in our last problem, but now we can talk about it. If we move up, we add to the y value. If we move down, we subtract from the y value. Now, if there's a thing that's to be remembered or to be written down, this would be it. This would be a good place to jot down. So what we do is we take the original point, okay, and then we translate it. So translate, you know how I was sliding Charlie Brown a while ago? We're sliding Charlie Brown around. That's called to translate a figure. Is when all you did to it was slide it. You didn't flip it or rotate it or any, you just slid it. Okay, kind of like footsteps out when you're walking. You look back and you see your footsteps behind you. So we translate from what we call pre-image to the image. Pre-image to image. And so that's before and after, like before and after pictures, okay? What you're doing to it is called a transformation, but this one is called translate. We're going to slide old to new. Now let's use this as our pattern. All right, we'll go back to our problem. -6, 1 is the beginning point. So we're going to put in -6, 1. And because I just noticed that their words are a little different, I'm going to just put old and new. And let me double check what it said. Okay, so, okay, just want to make sure everything's clear. That is our pre-image, and then this is our image. I'm so worried about details, I get carried away. All right, let's try it one more time. -6, 1. So I put -6 and 1. Now what happens to these guys? I got to change them to something new. Change it to something new. Well, the instruction says in our problem, translate left to. Left to. So as left 2, I need to subtract 2. So I go -6, subtract 2. And I use my calculator and I'll get -8. And so you just take any old calculator and type -6, subtract 2, and you get -8. Now the other part that it tells us to do is down 3 units. I want to go down 3. So I'm going to down is subtract, so I'm going to subtract 3. 1 subtract 3 is -2. I hope I'm right. All right, so this is our answer, -8, -2. We took an old point and we moved it to a new point. So -8, -2. Oh boy, I hope I get it right. We go and we click in there, -8. You can use tab sometimes. Uh-oh, already forgot my other point. -2. Come on, Presley, keep up. -2. Submit that answer. Yeah, I got one right. I'm so happy. Now, what they do is they show you in their own language. See how they said subtract from X, subtract from Y. They showed it as a formula. And so you can use a formula to do this. X subtract 2, Y subtract 3. And all we're doing is taking the first coordinate and subtracting 2 to get -8. Then we're taking the second coordinate, 1 there in blue, 1 subtract 3 to get -2. Okay, so that's how we translate a point. Now I'm going to try to show you some more, and I'm hoping that I make this work right. Let's find out. That's our problems. I kind of forget what page I'm on there once in a while. We'll go back. Now let's look at variations on translating a point. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there for right now. Let me go ahead and stop there right now so that you can try the first part of the assignment.